private members' business item number 1715 standing in my name. John Maynard Keynes said famously, when events change, I change my mind. What do you do? And what are we going to do? Because events are changing, Mr Assistant President. Just 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, if you'd gone out to the public and said we are facing a catastrophic depopulation crisis globally, that we are looking at a depopulation in East Asia, Southeast Asia, Latin America, Europe, Central Europe, North America, Oceania, and it's going to be a massive policy problem for policymakers around the world, you'd be laughed at. If you went out today and said to people, is the population of Thailand going up or down, and you said down, most people would laugh at you, but in fact population in Thailand is going down, and in most countries in the world fertility rates are going down. Now, this motion calls for the state government simply to develop a population policy, a whole-of-government response to rapidly shifting global population trends, the creation and implementation of a New South Wales population policy to inform the COAG Treasurer Forum on population that we're already a signatory to, and a net zero policy that considers this policy and significant issues of global population. There's two facets to this motion. First, the implications for New South Wales. We are going to sustain our economy from now until forever through immigration. How many people should live here? Where should they live? How should they live? Where the infrastructure goes is something that should be front and centre. How do we maintain social cohesion and economic and an economy when we are going to depend on immigration? Because our fertility rates have dropped from 1.88 to 1.5 in the last 10 years. We are now at ultra-low fertility rates. Our population is sustained by immigration. And we're taking people from centres of crisis, so the Syrian war, Palestine, the Sudan and the rest. But where else should we be taking people? Sure, refugees, but how do we maintain social cohesion? And should everyone just be moving into this one great big mega city forever? We're pushing up against Penrith. Parramatta's gigantic. It's a mega city on its own. Why not look at regional areas to develop? And we're not Robinson Crusoe facing this. The United States, Germany, France, Italy, the UK, all facing a deterioration of social cohesion because of massive immigration rates to prop up the economy because of low fertility. The other implication of my motion is how are we going to deal with the challenges of maintaining a healthy economy when Asia is in massive contraction. Over the next 60 years, we're going to see China halve, Japan halve, some of our biggest markets. That's where our coal and gas goes. Vietnam, reducing population, reducing demand. So we need to think about that. And then also in terms of climate policy, because the reality is that the UN, the IPCC, if you look at their climate analysis over the last 30 years, have been catastrophically wrong. The demographers were wrong in the 70s when they said we were going to have population collapse, and they're wrong now when they're saying, the IPCC are saying that fertility rates are going to stay at about 2.1 for the next 30 years, that we're going to end up with 10 to 11 billion people. At the bottom end of the IPC predictions are 6 billion people. That's a variation of 5 billion people in their own models that they've got. Which one is right? It's got massive implications for land use, how we live, where we live. People are urbanising, people are ageing. It's impossible to fit all of that into 5 minutes. Mark my words, I'm going to keep bringing this issue back. It's going to be the biggest issue. The Lowy Institute this week put out a paper saying population policy is going to replace climate policy as the most pressing issue in the modern world. No doubt, because where we live, how we live, and how we manage this massive transition that's occurring is going to be absolutely paramount for policymakers. So this is the beginning of the discussion. You have a look at the data that I've put there. I'll have more to say in my reply in regards to that, but I commend the motion to the House. It's about having a conversation and being aware that events are changing and we should change our minds.